channel. I don't typically bake on my channel, so I'm trying something new, and I'm making peanut butter oatmeal cookies, and I already got the ingredients. Obviously you saw that I already made put the ingredients in, got it all mixed together. I had to do that. I didn't actually plan for that. I actually planned to shoot while I was putting the ingredients in there, so you could kind of see how it is made and all that. But I had to end up charging my camera, so I did that while I let my camera charge. But real quick, let me tell you what I used. I used sugar, flour, oats, obviously, syrup, baking soda, eggs, vanilla, and then milk. So I used 2 eggs. I took 2 eggs out of here. It's 2 eggs, I almost said 2 cups, not 2 cups, that would be a lot of sugar. But 1/2 cup of maple syrup, 1/2 cup, and this is going to make 2, so let me back up. This is going to make like 2, so the recipe that I found, I'll kind of back up. There was a night where I didn't have like any snacks, and I was like, what do I have? And I had oats, and I was like, well, I make oatmeal all the time, but I didn't want to make any oatmeal. I said, well, I also have peanut butter, and so I was like, well, I'm going to make peanut butter oatmeal cookies. And so what I did was I just went to an app to kind of get a recipe, to just getting a general basic idea, and that's how I started. That's typically, so there's 2 types of people that cook. Cooks, which follow recipes, and chefs that sometimes they borrow recipes to get kind of a basic idea of what they're doing, but other than that, they pretty much just, and that's basically what I did. That's kind of how I, made my peanut butter. And today I added chocolate chips to it, but I didn't have chocolate chips when I first made it a few nights ago, so I just used peanut butter, but all I did was I went and found a recipe, and just to kind of give me a basic idea of what I was doing. I mean, I already kind of knew a little bit what I was doing, like, okay, you got oats, and when you put oats in a bowl, you add water, put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, you got oatmeal. I mean, that's pretty simple. So, I mean, to make oatmeal cookies, yeah, there's a little more ingredients there, but it's pretty much the same thing. So I was just, But anyways, that's how I like to cook. I don't really follow. I might borrow a recipe just so I can kind of get a basic idea. But other than that, I'm a chef. I kind of like to play around with just different things. Like, for instance, I'll grab something. For example here, last night, that's what I made. I made that last night. It's tomatoes, or not tomatoes. Oh boy. It's mainly, I had a package of frozen vegetables, some meat that I had made earlier, and then one packet of this. And what I did was I made this. I put the meat in with the frozen vegetables, heated that up over the stove, and had like a pot, put it in the pot, and then obviously mixed it. And I even said, that would be nice if I had chicken bites. You can put chicken bites to it, but basically it's pretty much you can put it in a bowl, and it's pretty much a dinner bowl. And I have, like a recipe for a breakfast bowl. Those breakfast bowls that you can get at the store. I mean, basically easy. You got eggs, chicken bites, you got sausage, you got your eggs, chicken bites, sausage, mixed vegetables, and then you have your gravy mix, the country gravy, and you put all of that, and it's delicious. But that's how I like to cook. So I'm a chef. I'm not a cook, I'm a chef, and there's a difference between a cook and a chef. A cook basically follows recipes. A chef creates recipes, and last night, or a few nights ago actually, I created my own recipe for chocolate or peanut butter chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. So 2 eggs, half cup of maple syrup, and again, this is 2 servings. The serving size that I found said it would only make 12 cookies. It was only 1 serving, so I doubled the ingredients. I want more than 12 cookies, believe you me. So I doubled the recipe, so that's why it's half cup of maple syrup, 2 eggs. I used 1 cup of milk, and I used 2 cups of vanilla. You got your baking soda. You use 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 2 cups of oats, 2 cups of flour, and 4 spoonfuls. So 4 of these spoonfuls of your peanut butter, and I don't have the peanut butter sitting out, but 4 of these spoonfuls. So if you want to know how much 4 of these spoonfuls of peanut butter is, that's about maybe a cup or a little bit more than a cup, so you could probably just use like a cup of peanut butter, or maybe just a little bit more if you wanted. But 4 spoonfuls is what I use. And then I just went ahead and I was like, well, I don't want to add, because you don't really want to add too much syrup, I wouldn't think. Or much more than a half cup. So what I did was I just took like one half of a fourth. So you're not filling it up all the way. It's about, you fill it up about half of sugar, just to add a little more sweetness. Now, there's a reason why it's only 1/2 of a fourth, because the sugar is already coming from the syrup, but you don't want to add too much syrup. You don't really want to add too much syrup. So just because I want my oatmeal cookies to be just a little bit sweeter, I kind of 1/2 of 1/4 cup of sugar, and I put that in there. I would like to pause what I'm doing for a little bit to, get real with you, and just to have you and me time in Jesus. One thing that I noticed about, baking is when you bake, there's ingredients, right? And then if you're a chef, you're basically the one creating the ingredients. But there is so no matter if you're a cook or a chef, if you're a chef, or a cook, you follow ingredients, right? But it takes ingredients to, make whatever it is that you're making. Like, for example, peanut butter, chocolate chip, oatmeal cookies. You're not just going to put the ingredients in a bowl and then add explosion to it and it just makes itself. No, you're putting in the ingredients needed. So this is my first point. You're adding the ingredients to the bowl. Then you got to mix it so that it becomes what I was showing you when I first started the video. Remember me showing you the oatmeal. But then you have to make it into a round shape and put it on a tray, then put it in the oven. So this is my first point of this message, is when you bake, you're not just putting together the right ingredients. You have to have the right temperature. You have to also, all these things working together just to create the oatmeal cookie. So who in their right mind, number one, who in their right mind would think that this earth was created by a Big Bang. Because, one, has there ever been a bang, a explosion that no, a explosion does not create, a explosion destroys. But then to think that we came from a big bang and boom, everything was just... Now, obviously, you would be like, well, then how was the world created in 6 days? Well, here's the thing that you're missing. God is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. There's no one higher, no greater power. So, he can easily speed the process. He can move in and out of time. You know, God he's infinite. Like he's literally just there. There's not enough words to describe how big, how powerful God the Creator is. But that's the one thing that you're not grasping, is that with Him able to do all these things, well, that's how He created the world in 6 days and rested on the Sabbath. So, you pretty much have a shallow mindset if you think that God cannot create the world in 6 days. From what I just said earlier, needing, all of the ingredients. But you need all of the ingredients in the first place, right? So that's one of the reasons why we also, one, it can't be just created out of a explosion, but then two, that's also the reason why we don't come from one living organism, like one living cell, one living microorganism. We didn't start from that, okay? Because the ingredients for this wonderful earth, everything had to be in place. Everything had to be in place for it to survive. A living organism by itself is going to die unless it is able to feed. Just one living organism needs another micro-living organism to survive. So that's my first point. My second point is a baby, a fetus, how you and I were created in our mother's womb. God, He's an artist. He took the gift of prophecy, the gift of this gift, and He put it together to create you and I. And if you think about that, that is amazing. And that's the reason why you and I are different, because we have different gifts. Not just spiritual gifts, but actual gifts. you might be an artist. I obviously am a cook, a chef. You know, I do this, I do that. You like this, you like that. You know, that's how we are different. God took different things, just like how you make oatmeal cookies. You put chocolate chips or peanut butter chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. You put chocolate chips, peanut butter, oatmeal, you know, this and that. And then you have raisin oatmeal. Well, raisin oatmeal cookies is obviously made with raisins. And then likewise, when he made you and me, he said, I'm going to make this person, and I'm going to give them this, this, and this. This person over here is going to have this, this, and this. And that's what God did in you and I, our mother's womb. I'm about to put these in the oven. And so I'm waiting. You want to set the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I got these set out and ready to go in the oven. Again, that's 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then gotta wait for the oven to heat up, but it'd be about, on 350 degrees Fahrenheit, be about 12 to 15 minutes, maybe a minute or two more, give or take. But yeah, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, can't put enough emphasis on that, for 12 to 15 minutes. Get the rest of these off here. I know I'm pulling these off one at a time here. On the plate, let's taste one. It's the perfect amount of chocolate chip, and then you get a little bit of that peanut butter. I think that adding just a little extra sugar might have helped a little too. But it's that syrup kind of helps, because the syrup is a sticky substance, so it kind of helps the cookie kind of stick. Not only that, there's sugar there, but then the little extra sugar that I added, I think is key. And then the half bag, and I don't know if I said this, but use a half bag of chocolate chips. And you just get a little hint of chocolate. and then you can really taste the peanut butter, and it is